AmeriCorps, and has served on numerous national and international boards of directors, including Scholarship America, the European Access Network in London, and Bates College in Maine. Please help me give a warm welcome to JamieMerisotis. Jamie.
Well, thank you, Tom, and good morning, everyone. It's good to be with you. In fact, it's more than just good. I'm truly excited to be here to help you kick off this year's Leadership Congress. I've actually had this day circled on my calendar for a very long time. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, this guy needs to get out more. But trust me, that's not the case. I'm on the road a lot. In fact, this time of year, almost constantly. And even though I love San Francisco, I didn't come west to see the sights. I'm here because this visit is a great opportunity to serve Lumina Foundation and its mission, an opportunity that may truly never come again. In a word, I'm here because of you. You may not fully realize this, but you're members of a select and powerful group. In fact, it's no exaggeration to say that right now, thanks to a unique convergence of social, political, and economic factors, you hold the key that can unlock this nation's full potential. As community college trustees, you work every day in a critical area, the space where academia meets the real world. Perhaps better than any other group, you understand the needs and nuances of these often divergent worlds. Even more important, you know how important it is to bring these two worlds together. Right now, as never before, that puts you and your colleagues in a pivotal position, not just as leaders at your respective institutions, but as leaders on the national stage. Ready or not, it's your time. Now, as the title of my remarks suggests, I'm here to urge you to make the most of that time, to seize the day, to take steps that can have a lasting impact on American higher education and indeed on America itself. I'll lay out a few of these steps in a moment, but before I do that, just in case any of you aren't familiar with Lumina Foundation, let me briefly fill you in. As Tom noted, Lumina Foundation is a national foundation. We're actually one of the 40 largest now, Tom, because of the stock market, with assets in excess of $1 billion. This makes us the largest foundation in America that focuses exclusively on getting more Americans into and through college. Now, for most of the... Thank you. Now, for most of the 2 years that I've served as the Foundation's president, we've pursued that mission by focusing on one specific aim, what we call our big goal. That big goal, simply stated, is that by the year 2025, we want 60% of Americans to hold high-quality college degrees and credentials. Today, and essentially for much of the last 3 decades, the nation's degree attainment rate has hovered at just about 40%. So you can see this goal is ambitious. That's why at the Foundation we believe we need to use all of the tools that we have at our disposal to increase college success rates, particularly among underserved populations. Broadly, this means we provide funds to support student success programs, we engage in public policy advocacy, and we work to build the public's will for change. But more specifically, this means Lumina convenes business, policy, and education leaders to develop strategies to advance student success. And as a large national foundation with a very specific mission, we use our bully pulpit to communicate reliable information and to foster partnerships and networks that can drive the changes necessary to achieve our goal. As leaders in the community college sector, you're probably familiar with Lumina because of Achieving the Dream, a national initiative to help more community college students succeed, particularly students of color and low-income students. It was launched with Lumina funding in 2004, and to date has received more than $60 million in Lumina grants and more than $40 million in funding from other organizations. Achieving the Dream is active at more than 100 colleges in 22 states. It's had a real impact on these campuses and in those states. And we feel strongly that Achieving the Dream is poised for even greater impact in the coming years for essentially the same reasons that you, as community college trustees, are poised for significant impact. Simply put, community colleges are where it's at right now, and not just because they've got their own sitcom, which turns out isn't very good. The fact of the matter is the nation is more focused on community colleges than ever before. You need proof? Well, just turn off the TV and tune in to reality. For more than a year, economic anxiety has gripped the nation, swelling college enrollments while at the same time highlighting the problems that plague American higher education. These problems are serious and well documented. Ever-rising costs, the lagging performance of American students relative to global peers, and questions about the value and relevance of some degrees in the workplace. And yet more and more people have stepped forward to underscore the importance of higher education to the nation's future and to hold community colleges up as a proven source for solutions to many of the problems confronting higher education. For example, noted labor economist Tony Carnevale makes a compelling case for college by focusing on the increasing complexity of the modern workplace. Carnevale estimates that 63% of all jobs require some post-secondary education and training, a huge increase since the 1970s when less than 30% of jobs required that post-high school education. Here's a concrete example of what's happening. A generation ago, nearly 2/3 of America's auto mechanics were high school dropouts. Today, more than 1/3 have attended college. This trend points to an inescapable fact. In the coming decades, some type of post-secondary education will be necessary for anyone who hopes to maintain a middle-class lifestyle. And preserving the middle-class lifestyle isn't important only because of salary levels or because of career opportunities. Consider the reasons offered by another economic expert and higher education champion, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke. When recently asked to name the best type of public investment, Bernanke responded decisively: education. He pointed out that investments in higher education bring significant returns to individuals and to society, not just in monetary terms, but in civic and social investment, in wiser financial decisions, and in improved health. Last July, in perhaps the most public and dramatic demonstration of support for higher education in general, and for community colleges in particular, the Obama administration rolled out what we all now know as the ambitious American Graduation Initiative. Promising billions of dollars in federal aid to community colleges over the next several years, the President called on the nation's two-year institutions to graduate an additional 5 million students by 2020. Talk about a game changer. Martha Cantor, the President's Undersecretary of Education, will be your luncheon speaker here tomorrow, so I won't say too much about AGI. What I will do, however, is state the obvious. This federal initiative is both a prize and a challenge, a reward and a down payment. Certainly, the administration has chosen to direct these funds to your institutions because you've earned them. Like the other experts I've already mentioned, the President and his advisors know full well that community colleges play a hugely important role in American higher education and in our nation's workforce development. In fact, it's precisely because the experts know of your successes that they expect a good return on their investment. And those expectations don't end at the doors of the Department of Education. The President's target of 5 million additional community college graduates by 2020 is actually part of a larger goal, one essentially identical to Lumina's 60% goal, to return the nation to a position of global leadership in terms of college attainment. And that goal is very quickly becoming a national goal. We at Lumina were among the first to commit publicly to such a goal, going back to early 2008. And now it's being pursued by several of our peer organizations in philanthropy as well as national education groups like the State Higher Education Executive Officers. And by making this commitment to degree attainment, all of these entities are clearly embracing community colleges. They have to. They have to because there's simply no way for the nation to return to a position of global leadership in degree attainment. No way for us to reach that 60%